Sure. So my name is Hector Barajas Varela, and I served in U.S. military, and we were in Tijuana, Baja California, and I am currently deported from the United States.
Okay, so can we start off? How is it that non-citizens can serve in the military?
Non-citizens have served in the U.S. military since Abraham Lincoln inducted the draft, and we've served ever since the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, and other current wars. So you don't have to be a U.S. citizen to join the military. You don't have to be even have a legal status to be drafted. And currently, under the MAVNI program, you can also enlist without having to have a green card as well.
So how is it that service members don't receive citizenship through the military? Is it mandatory that they receive citizenship, or is it still an option?
At the moment, it's one of the things that happens when people join the military is they're promised citizenship, and they're not well educated, or their chain of command does not follow through on the citizenship. So it's not automatic. There is a process, but I believe there's a failure in the armed forces to make sure that the citizenship is or the right information is given, that the soldiers are counseled. There were two executive orders that came down, one from President Clinton and George Bush, that citizenship be expedited, but it didn't happen during that time.
Do you think that service members should still have the option to choose citizenship, or should it be mandatory that they get U.S. citizenship to either serve or for serving, or should it be, should they still have the option of keeping citizenship in another country?
I think it should be the option of somebody to join the military because you're taking a permanent oath of allegiance. But at the same time, one of the things that happens when the people die in combat, they're given posthumous citizenship. But it should definitely be a option, and that's something that I think should be anywhere within any ranks of non-citizens from any military.
Have there been any elected officials in support of ending the deportation of veterans, either senators or representatives or presidents even?
There is only there's right now Mike Thompson has a bill in a bill in Congress. Also, what is it? What's his name?
Gallego.
Gallegos. Yes. What's his first name?
Ruben Gallego.
Yes, Ruben Gallegos has a bill as well that's co-signed by Ted Lieu and a couple of other people. And Bernie Sanders has been the only presidential candidate that has expressed bringing home deported veterans through his immigration platform.
Okay, so what did Bernie Sanders say about deported veterans?
In his immigration platform, he actually he actually openly spoke about extending the humanitarian parole and bringing home deported veterans through the humanitarian parole, but no actual legislation, just extending it for deported veterans.
Okay, so what exactly is the humanitarian parole? Can you explain that, how that works?
Sure. The humanitarian parole is based on if there is a medical emergency, either for the person that's trying to go in, if they have a family member that has some kind of a disease or some kind of something that's terminal, then they can be granted that humanitarian parole, but it's still discretional. And also, there's a medical parole with the humanitarian parole, so you can go for appointments for cancer treatment. That's what the humanitarian parole is based on.
Back to Bernie Sanders, did he meet with you, or has he visited? I saw he visited Nogales. Did you meet with him or talk to him, or how did that kind of play out?
It happened because I've been connected with Cesar Vargas for the last couple of years, and right now he's working in Bernie Sanders' campaign. And before last year and before Thanksgiving, he actually reached out to us and wanted to find out what were some of the ways that veterans could return legally. And I told him about the humanitarian parole legislation, and they talked it over what was the best thing that they can do, and they decided to go with the humanitarian parole. And I did. Cesar also told me that Bernie Sanders was going to be in Nogales as well. I did not get to meet him, but I did get to say hello far away. That was pretty cool.
So in terms of being deported, how does that work in terms of your VA benefits or education or healthcare benefits or disability compensations? Do you get any of that? Can you apply for it if you already have that? When you're deported, do you get to keep it?
When you get deported, it continues because it's direct deposit. And then if you have a rating, you fall under the foreign medical program. You don't fall under the VA anymore. So you actually get seen by the foreign medical program with the FMP, but they only treat you for what's in your service-connected disability. So if you have lower back and ankles, that's the only thing they're going to see that they're going to reimburse you for. As far as the schooling, what some of the men have done is, since they can't physically go to the United States, we have one of our veterans that served in Afghanistan. He goes to the Phoenix University online program, so he's able to use his GI Bill through that. What happens is, for the men that get deported and then they decide 10 years later, oh, wait a minute, I have PTSD or my back's killing me because of jump injuries, then that's where the problem comes in, because you are no longer admissible into the United States to go to those exams, and we've been having a hard time getting the exams done in Mexico. To this date, nobody has ever gotten any exams done outside of the United States for the disability.
Okay, and are they supposed to do it? Are they supposed to do the exams, and can they come visit you and do the exam there, and it's just not getting done, or is it that it can't be done? It's not supposed to be done.
It can be done. About before last Christmas, I was given a letter from the Veterans Administration that the U.S. Consulate in Juarez was supposed to give me an exam for different things, and they lost my paperwork, didn't follow through on it. So recently they denied me my compensation, which, how can you deny me if I've never been seen? But it's negligence or something. The two departments are not connecting. But yeah, they can and they should be able to do the exams outside of the United States.
Okay, with the current the Phoenix VA scandal that happened over here in Phoenix, a year ago, a couple of years ago, there's been a big outcry to dismantle the VA, the Department of Veterans Affairs. Do you think that the VA should still remain intact, or do you think it should be disbanded? Or if it were, have you thought about that? If it were, would there be any way to get care for deported veterans? If it were dismantled.
Mm-hmm. When I was in the military, my MOS was patient administration specialist. I worked with William Beaumont Army Medical Center, and part of that was actually working with the VA. So we actually had a really good program, and a lot of the veterans were getting treated really well, and appointments, everything was. I worked at the air evacuation, so whenever somebody could not get the treatment that we could not facilitate at William Beaumont, we actually sent them to Walter Reed and all these different other hospitals. So I thought it was a really good system, but the thing with William Beaumont, it was a small hospital, and there was a small percentage of veterans. I think once you get to a bigger hospital where there's like thousands of veterans and appointments, I think that's where the problem comes in. There's maybe I can only imagine that there's understaffing, maybe not enough money's going into the budget for their treatment, stuff like that. But we did a really good job. I think it's a good program. But then again, I think hey, if you don't want to go to the VA, there's nothing wrong with veterans wanting to see their private doctor. So that could be something that could be in place. And I think that's part of that is a choice act. I don't know that that's how it works now.